We're getting the copies for you, Jeff. Welcome.
December 13, 2016, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Right hand over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
A quorum is present.
City Council, successor agencies, Housing Authority, and Finance Authority on any item on today's agenda of the public hearing to do so at this time. Hearing no, can't get up.
Good afternoon. We're official first district. I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask with regard to item number 10 and 11. You know, we all love art and artworks, but and appreciate the artists. But I was wondering, with regard to these two items, how were these items chosen? You know, the reason I'm asking, was there any input from any citizens with regard to the artist and the artwork? Were there any other artists given opportunity for their artwork? I just wonder, you know, how it was chosen. And, you know, I appreciate, again, the artwork within the city, but I just know that there are a lot of artists here, and I was wondering, with regard to that, how they were chosen. And going through this thing rather quickly, but I had a couple of questions. About oral reports. Without taking a lot of time now, because I'm sure there's others that would like to speak, but I had some concerns about certain other items here. I will be back later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. I'm going to address once again the setting of public hearings at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You have both items 1 and 2 for modifying how you assemble parcelages and then for discharge elimination systems and all of those types of things that impact every resident of this community. And yet for some reason you want the public to believe that even though they see bodies out here, more than half the bodies here are somehow related to the employment schedule of our life, which means that they are not the residents of this community unless you want me to believe, and I did ask several last week, they did not move to our fair city. I know that some of you went out this last week and tried to encourage people to sell their homes. I do think that's interesting that in other communities, elected say, hey, move here. We do the opposite in our community for some reason. But as we look at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock was never what the residents of this community had the opportunity to vote on. When
Which item are you addressing?
Item SPH 1 and 2, having to do with a 2 p.m. meeting for setting of public hearings. I am here to tell you for the umpteenth time that 2 o'clock is not an appropriate time to actually reach and give opportunity for the general public of this community to come and speak, since the vast majority of people who have traditional jobs work 9 to 5. You have occasionally, frequently, and often suggested that when we look at the people in this assemblage today, that they are all residents who come and have the opportunity to speak here, which is not the case. They are many employees who in years past would be in the conference room, and we would see that the seats here are empty because, in fact, residents of this community who work cannot be here. I will take that last 57 seconds to let you know that at least 2 of you knew, 3 of you actually, knew full well that the petition that came before you for 2 o'clock meetings was, in fact, not a petition, but it was, in fact, a guest list for a local convalescent home that was morphed. Why? Because you actually had one of those persons here address that. So stop with the fakery. We know what's going on, and you probably should, to save face, go back to 7 p.m.
Close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Council members and agency members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Mayor, the next scheduled matter is a public hearing to receive input on the draft fiscal year 2015-16 consolidated annual performance evaluation report.
Has the notices of the hearing been given in the time, form, and manners required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
No, Mayor, no communications received.
Is there a staff report, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Mr. Damian Pipkin, Grants Coordinator, will give the staff report.
Mr. Pipkin, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. We're here to review and have a public hearing for our annual consolidated annual performance evaluation report, the CAPER, for HUD and for the submission by the end of the year. And we just want to recap some of the accomplishments we made. We had several infrastructure improvements, including sidewalks and streets in CDBG eligible areas, which are in the western and southern portion of the city mainly, districts 2, 3, and 4. And we've assisted many seniors remain in their housing, and that was 33 households, 34 persons in particular. And we have 2 new artificial turf fields, which we're very proud of. And we also are going to be pursuing some senior housing in the next upcoming year as we were awarded funding for those projects. So that concludes my report, and love to hear from the council. Thank you.
No, I move approval.
Second.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts. Approval of the minutes of the council meeting held October 18, 2016, October 25, 2016, and November 1, 2016.
Second.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye.
2 through 18.
18.
Second move.
So move.
Franklin moves it all second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye.
Staff report recommending approval of an agreement between the City of Inglewood and Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation and LA 84 Foundation for the installation of baseball field improvements at Darby Park.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. Sabrina Barnes, Director for Parks, Recreation, and Library Services. The item before you asks that you approve an agreement with the Los Angeles Dodger Foundation. That is the official charitable arm of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have awarded the city a grant for field improvements at Darby Park. This includes improvements to both the upper and lower fields, valued at $296,000. $296,312. It will include everything from new turf, new scoreboards, solar scoreboards, new fencing, dugouts. It also leads us to support of a program which we are participating in their Dodger RBI program. You may recall during the summer when we opened the Playhouse, you saw the little kids out in their Dodgers uniforms. It also supports that effort. The plan is to start the work early winter when we get back from the holidays so that the opening coincides with the opening of our RBI season and the Dodger season. We have with us today a representative from the Los Angeles Dodger Foundation, David Brennan, who is the Senior Director of Programs and Fundraising, and he's here with us today as well.
Hi, thank you, Mayor Butts, council members. Just want to say the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation, we're very excited to build our first Dodgers Dream Fields with the city of Inglewood at Darby Park. Sabrina went into a good recap of what we're going to do. These fields are going to look brand new. They're going to have these amazing new scoreboards that kind of look like Dodger Vision when you come out to Dodger Stadium. They kind of mimic the same look to it. We had our first season of our Dodgers RBI program here. We had about 140 kids that played at Darby Park and about 400 kids between the other parks here at the city of Inglewood. And we're excited to build this field so those kids who are playing in that program will have this amazing new field to play on, and hopefully that'll allow for to spark the interest of more kids in the community to play baseball, and we can even grow the programs with the city of Inglewood in future years. Glad to. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Move item 1 and 2.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider the adoption of Zoning Code Amendment 2016-03 to modify regulations for planned assembly development.
Set the public hearing for January 10th, 2017 at 2 p.m. This is for an industrial area. This doesn't affect residential. SPH 2.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to receive public input on establishing a fee for inspection of industrial facilities for National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System compliance.
Set the public hearing for January 10th, 2017 at 2 p.m. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. There was a closed session item, a workers' compensation claim for Gregory held. There's a request for settlement. Is there a motion?
So move. Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
I was absent from closed session, so I'll abstain.
Okay. Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. CM1.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, I would like to remind the public that City Hall will be closed starting this Thursday, and we will reconvene regular staff hours on January 3rd.
Right. CC1.
No reports, Mayor. Thank you.
CT1. And the City Treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor. Just like to mention regarding agency purchase, I did purchase a farm credit. It's a 5-year bullet, meaning that I will have it for the entire 5 years, and it pays a little over 2%. Regret not actually buying more because most of the bonds now are all continuously called and very rather low coupons. I also like to mention also regarding part-time working for the seasonal working. The retail is going to be offering something like 740,000 jobs. Nordstrom's, Macy's, J.C. Penney's, Walmart, and also Honeybank Ham, 12,000. Amazon, 120,000 jobs. U.S. Postal Service, 40,000 jobs. FedEx, 50,000. Kohl's, 69,000. And Target, 70,000 jobs. I also got an email from Chairman Horton regarding that the State Board of Equalization are also hiring. So you might want to check out their website. They have some rather interesting jobs. Associate tax auditors, starting at $4,800, and office assistants starting at $2,100. Office technicians starting at roughly $2,800. So you might want to try, those who are looking for employment, the State Board of Equalization website, as well as these retailers, because it looks like more than 740 jobs that they're expecting to offer, you know, during the holiday season. But the ones with the State Board of Equalization seem to be permanent positions. Also, I'd just like to mention this will be our last council meeting of the year, so I'd like to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and keep in mind, Jesus is the reason for the season.
And
that concludes my comments.
Any person who wishes to address the council in any manner connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. 1 minute.
It's holiday time, and we're having a lot of break-ins, but the First District is experiencing more than usual break-ins on 76th Street, 77th Street, 78th Street. They're all at home. Car is broken into. I would suggest that you them get more patrols in these areas, you know, because people are experiencing a lot of loss. Finally, I'll say to you all that these ought to be held at 7 o'clock so that more people out here to understand and give their opinions of what you're doing.
166. Conscious objector, you know my story. My number's 323-842-3363. Anybody station, anybody, any person, I'll show you how the federal government, the VA, these presidents, commander-in-chiefs, all their co-collaborators and sleepers in this country have been trashing our records since day one. Also, to speak on the Mayor Butts' comment on the assassination of the young people in February, the 2 young people, stating his story, which is a propaganda and a total lie. One true thing, it speaks to a black bald-headed man out there that morning that they couldn't tell what I was saying because the speech had been distorted and destroyed with the tape. Really, what they were destroying in speech, and if you get a lip reader can tell you, I was hollering for police officers, anybody. I was the only one standing out there with that dead body. It was dark and nobody.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
They assassinated them kids, this whole story.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
My name is Deborah Ross Bell, and I used to work for this city for 18 years in Sabrina Barnes, is under Sabrina Barnes actually, and also Skip Halloran. I retired 2013 to open up a fish market on Manchester between Hillcrest and Locust, and I've been there for a little over 3 years. Councilman Dotson has had the opportunity to come by and have some fish with us. I'm here just to ask, how might E&J Seafood be able to get in on the ground floor of the Inglewood Rams in the stadium? How might we be able to if at all possible?
I'll tell you real quickly in my closing comments. Just stay around, okay? All right. Mr. Davis.
Mayor, city council and staff, and Inglewood residents, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you. I'm just here to give a quick wish going into the New Year's. Well, to everyone here, good health and a sound mind to all of you. And the courage and wisdom for the city council and its staff to make clear decisions and, when necessary, bold ones. The right thing, you'll keep making history. And My wish for this great nation we live in is this: ourselves a chance, all of us. Give ourselves a chance. Everybody's asking for a chance. Okay, that's fine, but the key is to give yourself a chance. Take a step. Don't wait to be rescued. And I'll end on this, Mayor, if you give me 10 seconds.
I will.
I was a little late because I was watching TV and I saw something amazing. Kanye West made a phone call and he was granted an audience. And he's supposed to be kind of mentally loopy right now. But a guy on the other end of the phone says, "You want to come out and say hi?" Know who it was. Now, if we don't get a phone call from him, I'm gonna be calling up somebody to yell, because this city is like no other city in this country, arguably the world. I hear we're about to get a early Christmas present, or the lease from the San Diego Chargers. Thank you very much.
Please come forward, sir.
Hi, my name is Rogelio Cervantes. I have lived here in the city of Inglewood for more than 28 years. And I just want to tell everybody, the residents and city councils, that I know about an organization that is working right here in the city of Inglewood. And that organization is taking the properties away from owners, not only the businesses, but their properties too. If anyone knows anything about it, I'd like to know. And I'd like to see who here can help me regarding this. I know how they do it. I know personally the people who's doing it, and I know where they're hiding. So I just want to know who can help me here. Because right now they're taking my property away, and they do it in a very legal system. They do it on they use the legal system to do it. So anybody that can help me, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am here because I am for the children, and our Amen STEM Center has been here since 1998, and we have in 25 years, over 10,000 students that have graduated from 4-year universities and 5 from 2-year universities. And we're now expanding, and we're going to have a program on the college campus where we can start with our kids at age kindergarten and take them all the way through an AA degree. So I'm just thankful for the support that we've been able to have at our STEM Center through these 1998 years with our mayor and city council and all who support us. And I just want to say we have a student getting her degree in physics next April at Cornell, and so we're going to all be there to support her. She started right here when she was 6 years old. And it's all kinds of stories like that that we need to spread about what's been going on here in Inglewood that's positive. So we're proud and thankful to share and move forward with the City Council and the STEM building and move this city where it needs to be, knowing all the children are important.
Thank you, Ms. Walker.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. First, I want to piggyback on everything that Mr. Davis said. He's a man of many, many words, I tell you. As far as the time you have these council meetings, I believe there was 5 people sitting on the dais that was elected to set the time that we have these meetings. And, you know, it's their job to do so. And as far as the people in this audience here is concerned, we have we're on TV, I believe, once or twice a week. If the people in wheelchairs or in whatever, they can turn the television on and see everything that's coming here, you know? So why these people keep coming up here complaining? They've been doing it for 15 years about what you guys do up on this dais here. Why don't they run for office and then they can do what they want to do? But
Thank you, Mr.
as long as
Agee.
you guys are in charge here, then I support you, not these.
Thank you, Mr. Agee.
I won't say it.
Jim? Bill?
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. I came to this meeting with a cold today because it's the last meeting of the year. And I would just like to say I want to wish all of you a blessed holiday. And I hope we can start the new year with open minds, not so much criticism, but interest in what everyone has to say, and have an even exchange of ideas, not just one way. Because I think the society in Inglewood has plenty to offer if you'll only let them express what they want, listen to what they have to say. So, have a blessed holiday, and I look forward to a more pleasant and agreeable year in 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sloan.
I'm going to follow up once again on the 2 o'clock meeting item, because you know what? Democracy is not a spectator sport. Democracy requires the opportunity to legitimately participate. And when the opportunity to participate is restrained, it fails to be a complete democracy.
Close public comment and council comments. Councilman Dotson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank the Dodgers for such a wonderful grant. We really appreciate that. Our children really appreciate that. So thank you so much for doing that. This past Thursday, I had the opportunity to take a ride in our new trolley for the seniors. If you have a chance, please catch that trolley, take a ride. It is a piece of work. The inside of that trolley has been, it's all handmade, hand wood. It is beautiful. So, and it will do a great service for our seniors. So if you have a chance, please take a ride in that. I want to thank everyone who had anything to do with my tour drive, very successful tour drive, this at St. Mary's yesterday. It was really special. Special thanks to my assistant, Miss Alicia Smith. She had to work tremendously hard to get all this stuff done. We gave tours to at least 80 children, and not all their parents came out, but we do have some parents who did come out. I want to thank the mayor for coming by and spending some time with us. Harry, who did the Santa Claus. I don't know where you are today, Harry. I know you're working somewhere out in the city, but I want everybody to know in this city that Harry Frisbee did one heck of a job with those kids. They were loving him up. So thank you, Harry, wherever you are out there in the city. And for the sponsors, LA Lakers, LA Rams, Republic Service, Turner Construction, Inglewood Police Department, Conecuh Federal Credit Union, Southern California Edison, Gas Company, Big Lots, the Roberts Group, Michelle Hickson family, Lee Denman, Mrs. Livingston, and the Delta Sorority. Thank you so very much for all your help and your donations. With that, I want to wish all of you a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and a very healthy and happy, prosperous new year.
You're going to yield the balance of your time to Councilman Padilla? Councilman Padilla.
Thanks, Mayor. Real quick, somebody got up here and said that there was a community event this Saturday, and we were up there telling folks to sell their house. That's the farthest thing from the truth. I don't know what meeting that person went to, but it wasn't that meeting that we were at, the mayor and I. We did not talk about telling folks to sell your house. On the contrary, we're telling folks that people are buying homes here in Inglewood at a faster pace than ever before and paying more than asking price, because Inglewood is now the place to be. And so we have folks that are looking for properties here in Inglewood, whether it's residential property or commercial property. Folks want to be in a city that's thriving, and in Inglewood, we are thriving. We are headed in the right direction, so I don't know where that person, what rock they're under, but get out from under that rock. And when you come up here and talk, make sure you're talking about what actually happened and not just trying to put words in people's mouth. So that being said, you know, yesterday I had a chance with the mayor and Councilman Franklin to attend the Christmas event at the Midnight Mission. Again, this is a great opportunity to be together with the community to celebrate Christmas and the reason for the season. So it was a very well-attended community event. I also attended the senior, I'm sorry, not the senior, but the opening of the ribbon cutting of the trolley. And the trolley's to be used by any community member, young or older, seniors, it doesn't matter who, but if you want to use the trolley, it's there for the residents here in Inglewood to be able to take advantage of, and it's an opportunity to get from point A to B without having to pay anything for it. The D2 toy drive was held this past Saturday. Tremendous success, and it's only a success because of the business owners and the residents that came out to donate toys for needy families. And those toys are going to be dispersed this coming Saturday at St. John's Chrysostom Church with the One for All Foundation. And I believe it kicks off at 11:30. And there'll be several families that'll be there in attendance with their kids to have an opportunity to have a toy for Christmas. I also had a chance to attend the fundraiser for the Friends of the Inglewood Public Library last week, Friday. A great, successful event. And again, the Friends of the Inglewood Library do so much for our community. If you're not a member, please join. It's a nonprofit. Proceeds go to help the Inglewood Public Library. I also want to thank the Inglewood Police Department. They did a toy drive this past Friday and Saturday, another huge community event. And so my hat's off to our community relations folks, Sergeant Ferreira, who's sitting here, Sergeant Blaylock, and Cinder Eller for being out and putting that event together. Again, kids from our community, their families will benefit from the kindness of your heart. Thank you so much. With that, I too want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and may you have a prosperous, healthy, and fun 2017. And thank you for coming out today.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I'll expedite this.
Thank you.
The colleagues and I all went to virtually the same public activities, particularly the ribbon cutting ceremony at the trolley for the seniors. And more importantly, it's for the public, and it's free. So take advantage of it and know the route that it travels. I also want to reach out to the many, and I want to stress many, benefactors that gave from their hearts, both businesses, block club captains, individuals, clergy. They all helped tremendously to reach out to bless those in those hours of need. We did exceptionally well in our toy and food drive that we did this year, to the point that we had a surplus that we continue to reach out to our nonprofit arm of the City of Inglewood and both give them cash as well as the surplus of toys that we had remaining to go to the seniors and the foster parents. So looking forward for that continued success, and I thank everyone for their giving from their heart and continue on the good work. I also went to the Friends of the Library. Friends of the Library also had a fundraiser in which I participated in as well. It's great to know that mine is a terrible thing to waste, and it was great to be able to purchase some of those books for my grandchildren, of which we'll get a chance to have bedtime stories together. And just want to thank you. It was for a win-win, both for advancing the kids' education and knowledge and fellowship with their grandpa, or I call him Papa, or as well as to be able to help and support the Friends of the Inglewood Library. I also want to reach out and again thank the Midnight Mission for their Home Light Family living program last night. It was outstanding, well attended. It gets always a little nippy there, but other than that, it's ideal identifying that the participants actually are residents as well to the location, and they got a nice hot cooked meal and great live entertainment that took place as well. And then finally, since my 10 seconds I'm almost losing here, I want to announce that there is going to be another rain barrel giveaway supported by West Basin 2016 rain barrel distribution. It's scheduled for Tuesday, December the 20th from 12 to 4 p.m. while supplies last at the Forum parking lot. You must call in advance to put in your reservations by calling 310-371-4633. Again, catch the rain with a rain barrel, 310-371-4633, Tuesday, December 20th, 12 to 4 at the Forum. God bless you all and have a great, safe, and healthy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Morales.
Thank you. You know, all my colleagues covered all the events that we've kind of attended throughout the weeks pretty good, so I won't go over it. I'd just be extremely grateful for everybody that actually puts it on. I have to say the Midnight Mission is one of the unique programs in the city. If you're ever looking to see who's doing a great job for families that are really in need, you know, look into them. I'd like to thank the Block Club over on Rosewood in my area who did what's called a Posada. Had a great event on Saturday night. You know, it's always well attended, a good 100 people out there, so we're proud of that. Outside of that, I just want to say that this has been a great year for the city of Inglewood. I mean, it's amazing how far we've come in such a short period of time. And I can tell you that we're barely starting to see the results of all the great things that have happened. And when we hear folks, you know, we don't take it as criticism. It isn't criticism. It's an opinion, and that's fine. But the bottom line is the results that are happening right now just continue to prove that Inglewood's on the right track. Mm-hmm. And it's something that we're all very proud of, if you can't tell. And it's something we should be very proud of because during the rough years, we were still proud of our city. And now that we're starting to see the results, we're barely starting to see it. The positive things that we're going to see more of next year and the years to come. So I just want to wish everybody just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
You know, I want to talk briefly about the meeting times. The reality is this. Yeah, there are people that work all three different shifts in this country, in the city, in the world. Everyone doesn't work daytime hours. And so whether you have meetings at night or the day, someone can say I was disenfranchised, I couldn't come and sit in the chamber. And so then the question becomes, what are we really here for at these meetings? They're to allow public input if something's that important that you want to, if you work the shift that we're having the meeting, that you take off work and you come, or if you just have nothing to do and you come to every meeting, you can do that too. Or if you're just really interested in government, you can do that too. But we had all-night meetings when I got on this council, and we were $11 million away from bankruptcy. We were not paving our streets. Our water system was on the verge of catastrophic failure. Century Boulevard had been promised for the last 10 years, and it was getting worse. The senior center had been promised for probably about the same amount of time. It wasn't even on the drawing board. Poor services, but we had 7 o'clock meetings, okay, and That made some of us happy. Well, it didn't make 99.999% of the people happy. And I'll tell you what makes people happy. When their streets get paved, when their trees get trimmed, when there are enough police to keep their neighborhoods safe, and the city is run in a manner that there's economic development. Let me just give you some examples. Like, when's the last time you had the Dodgers invest close to $300,000 in the city? The Lakers just gave us a grant for $90,000, resurfaced 2 of our basketball courts. And another private donor gave us $70,000 to do the field at Rogers. You know why people are investing in the city? Because they believe it's well run and it has prestige. But we still, this is what we hear from a couple people. Gee, why don't we have meetings at 7 o'clock? That's not why the city exists, to have meetings at 7 o'clock. The city exists to be run in the interest of the residents. I had some, and Councilman Morales is perfectly right. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and they're also entitled to their own fantasies too. Councilman Padilla and Dotson and I attended a meeting at a real estate broker's office for about 60 people there, and we were telling them about the virtues of the city. We take every opportunity that we can to tell people about the virtues of our city, and to tell people that own property why they should hold on to their property in Inglewood. If there was any message that we gave to anyone that's a resident, it was to hold on to your property. But, you know, still people that weren't even there come up with a fantasy about we were encouraging people to sell. What could be more ridiculous? We want our residents to stay here. And as far as community outreach, you know, Councilman Padilla, Councilman Dotson, Councilman Franklin all had toy drives. They have them every year. The police department has toy drives every year. Councilman Franklin and Dotson, they have, like, I think they have a town hall meeting every month. I think they overexpose the product, but there's no way that there's any dearth of opportunity for people to talk to their elected officials. All the councilmen have office hours. I answer emails in the middle of the night. This isn't the same world it was. This council chamber is not the only place for people to have input and give their opinion to government officials. And so the only reason I take this much time to talk about this because, you know, this goes out, this is recorded, and people watch it. And someone might think that the only chance that you could ever talk to a public official is at a city council meeting. These meetings rarely last more than 45 minutes now. There's so much more time in the world. So I want to wish everybody in the city a really prosperous new year. The city is already in the midst of great prosperity, and there's a lot of people that recognize that. And to ask your question about how do you get into the stadium. Now, look, the stadium is going to have, just like any other big business, you know, like Dodger Stadium or the Coliseum, they're going to lease spaces to people that want to sell goods and concessions there. But what they're going to do, because it's a private entity, they have a consultant, and that consultant firm is a group called Legends, and they're going to determine the mix of cuisine that they want to have. And then after people apply to sell there, then one of the qualifications is going to be if you can pay the lease on the lease space. Now, I would imagine this stadium is going to be $2.66 billion. I can imagine that the lease space's prices are going to be significant. But if you have a product and you think that you can make your performer work, you know, that's the thing to do. So you'd contact Legends, and when they go out with their consultants to determine their mix of concessions, then you would get your opportunity to apply at that time. All right. Thank you for reminding me of that. And we're adjourned.
Ready to go now?